Hello, my name is Gentry Smith, and I'm going to be talking about abilities, which are the central topic involved with Chapter 10. The purpose of this presentation will be on two categories of ability and how organizations can utilize the abilities of their employees to benefit themselves and the employees. We're going to cover this concept and use an example of Emmanuel Rivera, who is an employee of John Deere. And in particular, we're going to take a look at the cognitive and physical abilities of Emmanuel Rivera, and along with the few subcategories that fall under these concepts. Emmanuel is an employee of John Deere who has earned several promotions within the company as a result of his success. His story exemplifies how abilities can be properly utilized to bring both individuals and organizations positive results. So now let's talk about the actual story of Emmanuel Rivera. Emmanuel was born in Puerto Rico, but he was blessed with the opportunity to move to the United States with a scholarship to play baseball and attend the University of Wisconsin. In school, he studied to become a mechanical engineer and used this degree to land a job working as a product design engineer for John Deere. At John Deere, he was able to apply his abilities to his work and achieved great personal success as a result. He was able to earn promotions and take on new positions and challenges relevant to his natural skill set. Over the course of Manuel's professional career, he has had the opportunity to serve as a product design engineer and a manufacturing engineer, as well as in tractor cab assembly. And he's been able to serve in all of these positions because they utilize some of the natural talents and abilities that Emmanuel has, which we're going to go over here shortly. More specifically, what made Emmanuel a good fit for his positions were his cognitive and physical abilities. On the cognitive ability side of things, he has excellent quantitative abilities, spatial abilities, and reasoning abilities, while on the physical ability side, he has static strength and control movement abilities, which I'm going to go into more depth shortly. Cognitive abilities tend to be very intellectual in nature. The first of these that Emmanuel possesses is quantitative ability. Quantitative abilities tend to be capabilities associated with doing basic mathematical operations and selecting and applying formulas to solve mathematical problems. This is crucial for engineers, especially because they have to perform so much computation and calculus in order to make sure that their designs and what they're working on is, feasible and also efficient and effective, and that it's really going to apply and work well in the real world. The next of his abilities is spatial ability, which is associated with visual and mental representation and manipulation of objects in space. This is another key ability for engineers because they need to be able to recognize how things fit together in their mind, and they need to be able to mentally manipulate things to make sure that they will fit and that the spaces are all accurate and that there's not any flaws in their design. And then lastly, Emmanuel had excellent reasoning ability. Reasoning ability is a diverse set of abilities associated with sensing and solving problems using insight, rules, and logic. Basically, this is very important because he would need to be able to recognize product failures and just flaws in his designs and in the products that they're producing, so that those issues can be addressed and corrected, and this just takes logical processes to reach. Next is physical abilities, which obviously are physical in their nature. These are very important for Emmanuel because you have to realize that John Deere is a heavily industrial business, and they build thousands and thousands and thousands of pound machines for everything from a riding lawnmower to tractors that mow hundreds and thousands of acres and pull thousands of pounds, generating so much torque. It takes very heavy materials and metals to put all of this together. So of course a manual would have to have static strength, which refers to the ability to lift, push, or pull very heavy objects using the hands, arms, legs, shoulders, or back. So basically Emmanuel and some of the other employees that he works with would need to have static strength so that they can lift all of the heavy machinery and the tools that they would need to do the work, as well as to install all of the parts that they're working with. Other than this, there's also control movement ability, which is important when it's necessary to make precise adjustments, especially in the use of machinery. So this would be necessary because you have to make small millimeter cuts and very precision cuts, and use the tools to be exactly correct, or when you have so much torque and so much power working with these machines, they would end up tearing themselves apart if it's not a perfect fit every time. So anyone who works with it, Emmanuel especially, would just have to be very precise with the movements they make and their ability to effectively use the tools available to them. Here are a few questions for you to look over and consider so that you can respond in the post below. But first of all, what abilities do you possess? What type of position or field of work is a good fit for you considering your current abilities? And lastly, are you currently utilizing your abilities, or is your full potential not being achieved? Please go ahead and pause the video if you need a little bit of time to think about these and come up with a response, and let us know in the comment section. In conclusion, Emmanuel Rivera is an excellent example of someone with cognitive and physical abilities. Furthermore, John Deere presented him with the opportunities that fit his strengths, which helped him to succeed and develop throughout his career. When an organization matches their employees' abilities with tasks that best fit their skill set, both the employees and the organization benefit. Everyone has a particular set of talents and abilities that should be recognized and utilized if the organization wants to be effective.